Welcome to the In My Humble Opinion podcast, a podcast that looks to discuss a number of topics that sometimes create more questions than answers. The views and opinions expressed by the presenters are their own and can be assured are utterly and woefully misinformed. If you like explicit content and naive ignorance, then please enjoy at your own risk. Ghosts again?
What's revenge-filled about that?
There's nothing.
Yeah.
The revenge is, you ain't seen me, right? Happy New Year. Hello. You're listening to the In My Humble Opinion podcast. We are back in the new year, 2024. Brand new year, brand new us. My name is Paul.
My name's Rob.
And we're going to be talking today about ghosts. We're going to be rehashing our pilot episode, as we've mentioned previously. Although that episode is our origins, our roots, is our Wolverine origin story.
Black and white noir.
Black and white noir. You can listen to it. It's great. Got some fantastic bits in. But we wanted to kind of retouch on that again and just go through it in a better way, perhaps, and introduce a little more humour into it.
Yeah, we've learnt our lessons. We've smoothed it out a bit. I'm not massively pissed.
Yeah, that's a thing then.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the format's changed slightly. And instead of arguing against points, we realised quite quickly that most of our opinions are the same. And that in all reality, I don't believe in ghosts. So that whole first episode was a bit of a lie. I'm going to skirt over that, which made it a little bit awkward at times. But now, with the way that the show is, I feel like we can retouch on that again. We're gonna do a remake, and this is it. This is Ghosts. Much like our episodes, we're going to be going through some stories. I've queued up quite a few of my favourite ones, and I'm going to regale these stories, much as I do with
I love it.
Rob. And we're going to have a listen, kind of figure out, see if these stories have any genuine ghostly atmosphere to them. Are they just bollocks? I don't really know. We're going to figure that out.
Yeah, I mean, they're all going to be bollocks, but I'm looking for the funny parts.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to focus on that. Yeah.
Like I've said previously, I do like to think that ghosts might exist. The idea, though, is kind of preposterous. So, in reality, you die. That's the end. Food for the worms. Yeah, ta-ta.
Food for the worms. You are re-integrated into the Mako system and distributed around the world like energy.
Yeah, energy around Gaia. We love it.
Round Gaia. Yeah.
I mean, that's if you follow the beliefs of Final Fantasy, I guess.
But yeah, I mean, it is a thing. So, I mean, that's just real.
What thing is it?
It is the thing. It's real. Like, how can you dispute it?
What's Mako then in reality?
So Mako is you die and then your soul becomes an energy source, which is being depleted by like BP, Shell. Oh yeah, but that's made up. But in real life, it's like BP, Shell, fracking.
God, I do enjoy a light fracking now and again. Don't come knacking if the shack's fracking.
Yeah, new year, new frack.
Yep, frack me. But anyway, so I've got a few stories here, and much like the normal stories that we have, there's a little title to them, and we'll go through the stories and see what we can kind of draw out of them. The first story I have here is called Demon in the Dark.
Not like demon in ambient lighting.
No.
Demon
on the cover of GQ magazine. Demon on the dance floor? No? Maybe. Could be.
Oh.
It's not, though. It's none of those things.
It's just the dark.
It's just the dark. And as we know, the dark is where demons lie. Or your side table.
Yeah, your dirty little house.
Dirty little house, traveling around the skirting board, having a good time.
Yeah.
My family travelled to the south of France to stay in a cottage owned by someone my dad worked with.
Ooh la la.
Ooh la la. The owners visited occasionally, but that summer it was free and we had 10 days booked in there. So nice
10
little...
days in the south of France.
Yeah. That's a
Nice.
great fortnight of holidaying cheesiness, I guess.
I mean, the fortnight's 14 days, isn't it?
Yeah, but you count a working week as 10 days. The
Yeah,
weekend
but days is days, isn't it? Like,
We
if you
on time again. 'Cause how time works.
yeah, like a fortnight is 2 weeks, which is 14 days. It's not 10 days, Phil.
After a long 2 days on the road, we drove a steep driveway towards the secluded mill cottage, with the water wheel sat static alongside the stone house. There was a deep cellar with stone stairs down under the wheel next to the house, and a small river circled the place. It's so picturesque.
I was literally there the other day in Baldur's Gate. I swear to God.
You know it. We went into the house and chose rooms, as you do. You're like, that's my room. I'm having that one because it's got the best bed and it's closest to the facilities.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
The house was drafty and cold from lack of use, so it just sat there static for a while. Got to warm it up. We settled in.
Why would it be drafty with lack of use?
If houses
If it's not being used, windows are shut, doors are shut, it should be drafty, should it? If it's being in use, everything's fucking open, airflow's going through. So
if it's in France, I guess, if it's not in use, they just open it all up anyway.
What? Right, fair enough then. That's solved that mystery.
Go. That's done. Okay. Anyway, these guys got in and they were like, we settled in and turned all of the heating on. Every single ounce of heating was on. Yet the house remained cold and felt damp. The first night
must be a ghost.
It's a ghost. Ghosts made it damp with their stuff. The first night
ectoplasm splashed up the walls everywhere.
Not to that part yet. Let's just see how this pans out, right? They've gone to a lovely.
Me off.
They've gone to the south of France. They've gone into a drafty, cold house. They put all the heat on. They can't feel that heat because it's still cold and damp. But in the first night they set a fire in the living room. I think in the fireplace, not just set a fire to the living room. Got to really warm up. Let's set the front room on fire.
This patch will do. Nice antique rug. French tapestry.
Yeah, beautiful. Pop it on the fire. Give it a burn. So they set the living room on fire and listened to a couple of audiobooks before my sister and I went to sleep.
Nice. Sounds lovely.
Yeah.
Was that Stephen Fry knocking about?
Yes, it was.
Of course.
My parents stayed up a little longer to have a
fucking.
And they went to bed for more fucking. They're on holiday. Let them do it.
Oh yeah, all right.
Put the audio on book on so we can fuck.
Hey kids, it's about Stephen Fry.
Plus he hangs out the back of his wife over by the fucking water wheel.
I want to both look out over the vista while we have sex.
Let's both face this way.
You're romanticising it too much, and you're incorporating me into this.
Oh no, not us.
But you're looking right at me in the eye, and you're saying "we." I'm like, whoa! Don't look at me whilst we're doing it. All right, that would put me off my stride.
Are we both doing it?
No, I'm doing it. You're not doing anything.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm appreciating the landscape, obviously. A tear comes out of my eye.
Exactly.
It's so painful. Around midnight, both my parents woke up at exactly the same time, and the door to their bedroom was opening slowly. At first, they thought it was my sister until they saw a large, dark silhouette of a man framed in the doorway, standing stock still, just looking in their direction as if he was appraising them. Like a Antiques Roadshow.
Like at a cattle market.
Oh,
this is a fine mare over here. That's a horse. But, appraising them.
Well, earlier, your first session, I'll give that 3 out of 10. But your second session with the veranda and the lovely landscape in the surrounding, it's a solid 6.
I can see you're tired. That's why you're just doing side-by-side spoonie sex. You've had it twice before, but I do appreciate that. 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10.
Well, yeah, a nice little soft spoonie sex. After a short period, the shape turned and started to move as if satisfied. And then disappeared.
He just stood there, fucking smashed one out, like literally ripped the end off of it. And it was like, right, I'm out of here, I'm done.
It's weird because even if it's obviously not a ghost, but even if it was just one of the kids, they're there staring at the parents.
Wanking.
We don't know if that's part of it, but it seems like in the description it may very well be. The parents then looked at each other, but didn't speak, and they both went back to sleep. Like, if that happened, I'd be like, turn the fucking light on. We're talking shut now. There was a man at the door. It's like when you hear, like, you're upstairs and you're in bed and, you're having a read or you're doing whatever, and there's a noise downstairs and your partner turns to you and say,
Just heard a noise downstairs.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, they don't say it explicitly, but they're like,
Go and look.
Yeah.
And you argue back, like,
Oh yeah, it's one of the pets. Or something's just fallen off the side.
and then you don't want to get up and, like,
Go on, have a look.
and you're like, oh, fucking something. You have to go downstairs and do all that. With something like that, 9 times out of 10, it's just something falling off the side, or like your dog's knocked over your favourite vase.
Yeah. Or even if it was something, so you go downstairs as a man with a big gun down there, I'll be like, I'll just literally walk back upstairs and go, it's nothing. I'm not dealing with that. Let's just pretend it's not happening. Good night, love. I'll never see you again because you're about to be murdered. But they won't take me because I'm a fucking man and I'm bald.
Sorry.
I'll take you, I'll tell you that.
These rooms are over there. Start with them first.
Yeah, exactly.
But you would address it. So you'd be like, oh, but these guys were just like, man in the doorway. Night, darling.
Yeah. Good night.
Didn't even say anything. The next morning, however, the house felt warm and dry. Like the ghost came in.
As if the heating had been on for 24 hours. How strange.
Maybe they put some extra padding in. That's what they were doing. It was builders. They came in. They're like, oh, we're a bit late. Sacre bleu. We'll have to pop all this like warming in because we left the house open for 4 months.
There's grand designs just popping over and being like,
oh yeah, we'll just put this cladding in overnight. Yeah. Oh, Andre. Yeah, you saw Andre. He likes leering at doorways. You won't see him again. We've sacked him.
It was
Don't worry about that.
Cloud. He was doing a piece to camera in the doorway.
Yeah.
You can see the residents are now part of the aesthetic.
When you come into this room, you'll suddenly notice the high ceilings.
But the next morning, the house felt dry and warm, and sunlight was back through the windows, probably because day happened. So the parents spoke the next day, and they both agreed that although they were skeptics, they could not have explained what they saw, other than something supernatural was in the doorway, judging them.
Appraising them.
Yeah. Maybe it was just like, let's send the kids to bed. I've got this bag of crazy mushrooms. Let's have a little dip on them, go to bed, see a man in the doorway. Can't wait for it.
Yeah. Be like,
I invited my mate's head over. I didn't tell you, but he's now part of the game. So
because life is just a game, Paul. It's just a game.
We all need that gimp at the doorway. All right, we'll go for another story here. The ghost who called Mother. When Robert Wright, a retired farmer, appeared at the Stansted Sessions to claim possession of a house, he told a strange story relating to the house where he was living at the time.
So he's trying to sell this house.
I think so, yeah.
But he's selling fucking fucked up stories about it.
Not going to sell it that way, is he?
No.
He told the Western Daily Press.
Not the Peterborough Press.
No. These are fast approaching. Like, I think at this time, in 1920, they were taking over Peterborough. It had its day, Peterborough Press. It was tired. Right. It was reporting the same and the lottery numbers. So, all right. Western Daily Press had the new guys come in. They got a bit of zazz about their stories.
Like the Spice Girls on Channel 5. New channel, yeah! Yeah, shit, mate.
So in 1920 December, the Western Daily Press reported on the farmer's story, which Wright told as follows. At 2:30 one morning, he and his wife were awakened from sleep, saw their bedroom door open, and an apparition appearing in the doorway. It was that of a strange man wearing only a shirt, trousers, and braces.
So he was like basically fully clothed.
Didn't have any shoes on.
He was only wearing a full set of clothing. Right? The only thing he was missing is fucking socks.
Yeah, so he had no socks on. They were being darned. That's what happened in the old days. You didn't buy new ones. Get them darned down the darners. The apparition in the doorway called Mother several times and disappeared. That's a little disconcerting.
That's a little bit fucking weird.
It's a bit weird. Anyway, Wright was a bit shook and then went to check on his son, the only other person in the house at the time. Probably going like, you put your fucking braces on, didn't you? Come in the room.
Have you only just got in? You think this place is a hotel, do you?
Get up and down the darners.
Down the darners. Where your fucking socks then?
No excuse. His son was fast asleep, however, and after waking, he protested that he'd not been dreaming and had not left his bed. So,
yeah, because no child's ever lied to his fucking dad, has he?
Not at all. Not at all.
Are you down the darners again? No, Dad. I was fast asleep.
Didn't get up. Didn't have a look at you and Mum. The retired farmer was to see the apparition a second time when it was crouching in a corner on the landing. What is it doing? Crouching on the landing.
It's a dirty little corner.
Don't come up here.
It's my corner. They never just stood in the middle of the fucking. Oh no, they never just stood in the way.
No,
like, they can't see me in the corner.
I saw the ghost on the third step from the top. He let him through. Sorry.
Sorry, I'll hold the door for you, mate.
Yeah, helpful ghost. No, he's in the corner, like with a mangled face, saying "Mother."
Mother.
The sighting was so.
Mercury. Mother, I've just been watching a man. He's laying with his wife. Tomorrow there'll be trouble and strife.
I don't remember that verse in that song, but it sounds like the sighting had upset Wright and his wife so much that it had affected their healths. So this is it. This is it. So he saw a ghost. It said Mother a few times, and then that was it. No other reports.
Right.
Yep. Unless the West Daily Press had just got bored of the story.
I mean, if that's it, how did he not sell the house?
I'm sure he did straight after.
Who's that woman who built the house? Crazy house. What was her name again?
Oh, the Winchester Mystery House.
Yeah, she was there. She was like, right, I'll have a bit of that.
Buy this.
I'll put in 5 bob down for that.
Got any stairs that go to nowhere? I'm going to put some in. Because that's what I like. I love these ones. So far, my ghost story is about men in doorways.
Yeah.
So let's switch the scene a little bit, okay? All right, we're going to talk about the Blue Lady.
Why are they always fucking different colours. I swear, it's like every time we speak about ghosts, it's like a different character from the Teletubbies.
The first one was the brown lady. What's brown about her?
Yeah, brown about it. All right, tell me what's blue about this bint.
Okay, all right. The blue lady who frequents the Westwood House in Droitwich. Okay, she loves the place.
Oh my god, it's never just like a normal place, is it?
No. The Westwood House near Droitwich in Worcestershire dates from Elizabethan times. It is an Elizabethan banqueting hall, and it was home to the Packington family. But in early 1950s, it was home to some alleged paranormal activity. We got a new gang coming in here, the Birmingham Daily Gazette. Okay.
Fuck me, like there was a real thing going on, wasn't it?
They loved a
They're
Gazette.
like, yeah, I'm gonna.
It's a Gazette. Why is it daily? But anyway, the Birmingham boys in November 1953 reported how a 23-year-old railway man named Ray Ward. That is such a railway man's name.
It is. It is.
Ray Ward. He's got enamel cups and a trainmaster's hat.
They're a little bit chipped. He's wearing dungarees.
Yep.
Like, how hard is it to fucking piss when wearing dungarees? What a stupid idea.
I wouldn't like to imagine. You've got to take all of your clothes off to have a piss.
All like you meant standing at a urinal. Oh,
like
Keith,
a
you having a
4-year-old
good
boy.
day? Yeah.
Oh, Keith, it's half time watching the big game of just have a slash. You right, Emma?
And you literally fucking strip naked to piss in a urinal. You're wearing a white t-shirt, blue dungarees are on the floor.
You're like Donald Duck.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, like dungaree wearing Ray Ward had said that he's seen a ghost near the Westwood House shortly after midnight. So Ray lived in a cottage behind the house and was returning from shift work when he saw the figure of a woman bathed in a kind of blue light. So, from a late shift. And like railwaymen, or railway people nowadays, I guess, I don't know. You don't want to discriminate.
Don't think they exist now, do they?
Well, I don't know.
Well, how could they? They're like, there's always like railway works all the time, and nothing's ever working. So, I think they are the real apparitions here.
They do. They work through the night. Ooh. They do long shifts. They're probably just really like tired. Anyway, Ray was walking around the side of the house when he caught sight of the woman's figure, which was framed in an archway which leads to the garden.
Always a doorway.
Always a doorway. It's like, why?
They think there's going to be an earthquake. Like, cause that's
Protect
a door. Yeah, a doorway's the safest place in an earthquake, in it, or the bath.
The ghosts know something that we don't.
Or like you drag the bath into the doorway, and then you're double
you drag
safe.
your doorway over the bath.
Yeah, or that. Yeah,
Get something done already. Save yourself from all these earthquakes that happen in Droitwich. Ray was like,
I could not see her face clearly, but she was tall and graceful, and there was a phosphorescent light about her, as clear as day. She must have remained there for about 3 seconds before she vanished.
Ooh. He saw her and he was like, right, let me time this.
As soon as you see it, you have to time it. It's the law. We know
it
this.
is.
So the apparition had long hair and wore a bodice, like a girl at a party.
Okay.
She's having a great time. She's bathed in blue. She's party time.
So he's noticed all of this, but he doesn't notice what her fucking face looks like.
Can't see it. It's bathed in blue phosphorescent light.
Oh, just a face. I just had like a torch shined in her face.
Yeah.
But you can see the cleavage from this fucking bodice.
That's all he's looking at. Ray. Yeah. He's 23 and all he does is work on the rails. Ray, though,
with his dungarees halfway round his ankles.
He's just walking around, back from his shift. They're around his ankles. He didn't have time. He just had to get out there quick. Shift's over.
He had about 3 seconds to like whip that out and have a quick tug over this apparition of a woman in a bodice.
Ray, who had previously scorned people for believing in the supernatural, was now a believer instantly. Just like, now I believe. I'm not going to question any of this. It's a ghost. Meanwhile, the appearance of the so-called Blue Lady was not the only strange occurrence at Westwood House that year. Right? The same source, the Birmingham Daily Post. Oh no, it was a different source actually, because it was the Birmingham Daily Gazette.
What? Rivals?
Rivals? Oh no, the Post has come up with a really good, the Gazette's come up with a really good story. We got to top that. The Daily Post spoke with the new owner. They had the balls to go up to the house owner, Mr. H.G. Brown, who was sat before a roaring log fire in the Great Hall. And
just sat there like, enter.
If it's a Great Hall, how did he say enter and they came in through the door? It must be like quite a distance away.
Yeah. Imagine just how long it would take to walk down there.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, I'm going to be cool because the paper's coming round. I'm going to say enter so that they come in. I've got to effect here. I'll put the fire on, and it's all happy. And then he's like, the door knocks, and he's like, enter. The door because they can't hear him. He's like, oh fuck, I've got to shuffle down the hall. And he just lets.
Is there no one to open the door?
I never known. And so he was like,
I have lived here only 12 months, but in that time, at least 8 people have claimed to see or hear things. One saw a horse and rider on the drive near the lake. And both my wife and her friend are convinced they have seen a man walking about the house.
Not me, obviously.
Right, yeah. Yes. There's a horse out there. It's a ghost. No, it's just this time period where cars are not easily accessible by poor people.
Exactly. It's just a person travelling about, having a good time.
And what's that you got there? Oh, that's scary. Yeah, it's a horse.
And the guy's obviously like spying on the wife and her friend, seeing if they're saying shit about him.
Yeah, definitely.
On another occasion, friends staying at the house thought they had heard 2 children running down the passage to the right, yet both of them were fast asleep. So I guess
it weren't those children, was it? It was different children.
Some other kids.
Fucking Fritzl kids. Running in between the walls. Let me out.
Other people have noticed a strong smell of flowers in the cellar. The flower cellar, where flowers are kept.
No, people don't keep flowers in the cellar, do they?
The thing is, Mr. Brown had not experienced any of these strange phenomena, but he wouldn't sleep in the huge 4-poster bed in Queen Elizabeth's room. So, okay.
Right. Okay.
So that's not my bedroom, that's why. I sleep Tonight I still sleep in the Queen Elizabeth room.
Yeah. He'd be like, what, Dad, what about your bed? Nope.
I choose this one tonight. Whee!
I'm going to sleep in a lady's bed.
I'm excited today.
Yeah. Oh shit! Probably didn't sleep in there because, that's someone else's bed. Yeah,
wife's bed, like it should be.
Yeah.
Mr. Brown then went on to tell the Birmingham Daily Post.
I tried it once, the bed, and it felt as if someone was pressing down on me all night.
Probably the other person's whose bed it is. It's dark. There's no candles on. All the windows are shut. There isn't any street lights or any shit like that. So this person's had a couple of meads, stumbled into bed, laid on top of him, and he's like, someone's pressing down on me. And they're probably like,
fuck it all, spit lumpy.
And then he's gone, I'm not sleeping in this bed again. Damn right, it's not your fucking bed, you mug.
He was like, we put some relatives in there, but they never slept a wink. Probably because you, Mr. Brown, are standing at the doorway. And when's it my go? I want to get in the bed.
And how does he know they haven't slept a wink? I'm watching you sleep. Go on, go sleep now.
Are you winking? I don't want to see any of it.
No, I want to see 0 winking, please.
You're only allowed up to 39 winks. Don't get your full 40 winks.
Yeah.
So Mr. Brown had finished the interview early by telling the newspaper how he knew
of no great tragedy or legend which might link the ghosts to the house.
That's fucking suspicious.
Yeah.
Be like, yeah, so there's a bed that I don't sleep in. No one was murdered here. Bye.
Time to leave. I've got murdering. I mean, an appointment.
Yeah. Nothing sinister has ever happened here.
But we want to talk about these missing people, Mr. Brown. Oh, they left here many weeks ago.
They were nowhere near Queen Elizabeth's bedroom, ever.
I didn't lay on them. It wasn't me. Okay, so I've got another one here.
All right.
This is a good one. So this is called The Ghost of the Hanged Man.
Mm.
So one theme that many ghost stories have in common is that they offer a sense of justice in return for a wrongful death. So I don't really see that. Usually it's a man standing in a doorway, it seems like.
Yeah. Or like,
to get into a bed.
Yeah. Someone standing there appraising other people's sexual antics. Or another man lurking in a corner. What's rewarded about that?
Do you think it's like, when you get called up for jury service, you're like, oh, I've been called up for jury service. But then one night a man comes to appraise you while you're asleep. You're like, oh, the appraisal shadows come round. I'm quite honoured. I get a day off of work tomorrow.
Could be. Like, my 15 minutes of fame are coming up.
There he is. Little shadow notepad.
Oh, nice.
Is that
it?
Yeah, so that's
How's that justice?
There's no justice there. This particular ghost story, however, offers a somewhat different take. It's about a wrongful treatment of a person in death and their revenge in the afterlife. So,
right, yeah.
Ghost been bullied, he's taking it out on peeps. So
that's what a fucking poltergeist is, isn't it?
It's kind of like that. Well, poltergeists
they're not like happy, are they? They're not
content. They want to move shit about and make stuff like really awkward.
Yeah.
So, on October the 13th in 1877, okay, I know that dates, you love dates. Anyway,
sorry. Yeah.
On a cold October in 1877, where the street lights were candles and people walked around aimlessly, wishing for the inn to open.
But they're just wandering around. Oh.
What do we do? I don't know. So we play Monopoly?
Hasn't been invented. You see that thing on TikTok? Well, no. I'm aimlessly wondering, why don't you do something with your fucking life? Be like, oh yeah, there's shit all over the roads because we haven't got irrigation. Let's just wander around aimlessly. No, invent irrigation.
They can't be bothered. They're drunk.
Yeah, they're lazy. They're like, I'm only going to live to 30 anyway. Fuck it.
Yeah, YOLO. This is my life. On October the 13th, Robert Schmale was hanged.
Are you sure that's pronounced right?
Yes. Robert Schmale or Schmale. I'm going to say it's Robert Schmale.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Bit of zazz to his name. Robert Schmale was hanged after a trial that found him guilty of a terrifying and inexplicable murder spree. Feel bad now for saying
Schmale.
The Schmale murders. The townspeople were filled with so much anger and hatred that they let his body hang for days. And the tale says not one of the townspeople demonstrated even a shred of remorse, let alone forgiveness.
Well, right, they were busy.
Yeah.
Fucking, no one's going to aimlessly walk around itself, is it? Like, stuff's got to get done.
Stuff's got to get done. Kids got to throw stones at him. Like, he's dead.
The ravens have got to pick his eyes out. Like,
It's the way of things.
Yeah, circle of life.
Since then, Schmale has been said to haunt the town. Those who have seen him say he appears as a ghostly male figure, but as soon as the figure registers you, it disappears into the darkness.
Oh, I just gone.
That's it.
Like, I mean, oh, you've seen me. I'm out of here.
I feel like with ghost stories, okay,
yeah. What's revenge filled about that?
There's nothing.
Yeah.
The revenge is, you ain't seen me, right? He's off.
Yeah, now you're confused, aren't you? Bye.
I'm so confused by this. Oh, he's got his revenge and the Schmarley curse.
That'll get you.
Like, it's the story beforehand, which is supposed to be the scariest thing. Other than that, the ghosts actually are just standing, doing nothing.
If anything, you're harassing him.
Yeah,
He's probably
leave it
just
be.
chilling out, like, wandering around aimlessly. And then someone else bumps into him. It's like, oh, fuck, I'm out of here. Yeah.
Don't look here.
Yeah.
Don't look at me then, because I'm going to turn around and look.
Yeah.
Don't look this way. I'm looking now.
Don't be there. It's like, you can apparate any way you fucking want. And you're telling me, don't you look at me, but you are there. I was here, but you don't have to be there.
Where I'm crouching.
Yeah.
Now. Now we have a situation, don't we?
Yeah. Don't look at me. You're in my doorway.
Just stand to the side, please. Ghost from the other side. Okay, this one's called The Ghost Nanny. All right, which I feel would be like a fantastic show. Ghost Nanny.
Yeah.
A person called Kip. All right, they're in America. They have good names.
Right.
So Kip from New York talks of an
New York.
old Kip. My name's Kip. Kip from New York talks of an old home that he and his wife purchased. Upon moving in, Kip saved up money. He's going places. Upon moving in, his wife invited her sister and newborn baby to come for a visit.
That's a complete fucking lie. Like, anyone says, oh, yeah, my sister's got a newborn baby. We're like, they ain't coming here.
Invited her because the baby's his.
Really?
No, it's a secret.
Oh, fuck's sake.
That's usually the case, right? Oh, come on. I'm married to your sister, but can I see my son?
Come on, bring off a little Polly.
So Kip says they stayed in the downstairs bedroom and my wife was sleeping in an upstairs bedroom. So he went downstairs. There's me, baby number 2. She's asleep.
Yeah. My wife's sister's come over, so I'm going to go sleep downstairs with her whilst my wife is upstairs. That's fucking weird.
Hey, Sandra, are you nicely tucked in? I'm just making sure your sister's nice and comfortable.
With my dick.
The first night the guest stayed, his wife overheard her sister talking to somebody in the middle of the night.
Her husband.
The next morning, Kip's wife asked who she'd been talking to, and her sister replied,
I woke up in the middle of the night, and there was an old lady standing over my baby, and I had to tell her to get away.
It's actually a little bit.
That's horrible.
Yeah,
Don't do that. Don't say
like
that.
an old lady, like a wrinkly old grot bags looking lady
Oh, fuck your mum.
over your newborn child.
Oh.
Okay,
No, that's,
right.
oh, no, that's horrendous.
Yeah. According to Kip, there were more unexplained incidents in the house, including mysteriously moving lamps.
Mysterious babies.
Another one's popped up. My wife, I don't know how.
Your sister was mysteriously pregnant again after she stayed here. What the fuck?
There was also a creepy occurrence with a fire alarm that went off while his wife was working outside in their garden.
Why is that mysterious?
I don't know.
Oh, the fire alarm's gone off. It's a ghost.
So honestly,
No, you just burnt the toast again, you
on the
cunt.
toast,
Like-
change the batteries. She immediately runs back into the house and figures out that it's the smoke alarm in the same downstairs bedroom that keeps going off. When she opened the door, she said for a split second, all she could see in that room where the sister was staying was white fog.
Right. But she was vaping in there, or?
So I'm not doing nothing. Chucks it out the window. Done.
Exactly.
A fog.
I wouldn't come round your house and smoke. I wouldn't do that to you.
Do that, the baby would die.
Yeah.
So within moments, the fog had disappeared, and then the alarm shut off.
Like, so I opened the door.
Opened the door, yeah, and
It
the
just
fog
disappeared then.
convinced Since the house was haunted, Kip's wife reached out to a neighbour. They asked the neighbour about the property and discovered that the previous owner was a 90-year-old woman who tragically died in a house fire.
In that house?
Yes. Well,
but the house was still standing.
Maybe the house had a small fire. The old woman stood in the small fire and died. It was then extinguished quickly, and then a bit of renovation happened around.
Like, when you're playing The Sims and you're like, oh, I know what would be fun. I'll just take the door away and let them die in the room.
So Kip says, needless to say, we fixed up the house and got out of there as fast as we could and moved someplace else. I mean, it's really nice that they fixed the house up and then left because they wanted more than they paid for it. So an old woman stood over the baby, or there could be a ghost fire. All right, we'll stick on the kind of creepy side of things here.
Yeah, that was actually creepy.
It was a little creepy. But what about this? One thing that's actually quite scary with kids is imaginary friends.
Yeah.
All right. Because you can twist it. It's like, oh, my imaginary friend was Bobo the clown. He told me to do all things naughty, and that's why I did them. You're a liar. You just diverted the pain. Shut up. And then there's other things are like, my friend is a Dickensian workhouse master, and he tells me to like bring him items. Like, hold on a minute.
my imaginary friend is Fagin from Oliver Twist, and I must pickpocket items.
I must pick a pocket.
Servitude.
Jacqueline from Oklahoma says,
"You're Jackie."
My name's Jacqueline. I don't know what she says. Sounds like that, but she does. Jacqueline from Oklahoma says that while her memories have faded over the years, she recalls having an imaginary friend when she was young. Her grandparents, Granny Junie and Papa Hank, lived in a small, quiet home with a tiny backyard. And ghosts. Jacqueline recalls visiting them as a child.
Right.
I have good memories of my Papa Hank. Jacqueline says he would sit under the tree with me and tell me stories. Oh, sounds like a good pup.
Homemade lemonade.
Homemade lemonade. The stories were often about his life and the memories of prohibition.
Nice.
They banned it.
They banned it, but I made some moonshine.
I made some moonshine and I got over the border.
For some reason, my memory's fading.
I don't know why.
It could be the moonshine. Do you know that actually during the Prohibition they raised the legal age of sexual consent for a female?
To what?
They raised it to 13.
What?
I know.
So Jacqueline says her grandfather was a very interesting character. The only problem is that her grandfather died in 1981. Jacqueline was born in 1982.
Oh.
She was like,
Don't think I ever realized that I was getting stories from a ghost.
She says, adding that the rest of her family knew of his presence in the house.
My Granny Junie would never stay in the house on the anniversary of his death. And he did die in the house.
Where did she go? She was celebrating.
Yeah. She was like, I need a new pup, Hank. She's gone down.
Oh, that's fucking creepy, isn't it?
It's creepy, isn't it? Jacqueline also recalls hearing her Papa Hank get up in the middle of the night when she was staying over at the house, and it never occurred to her at the time that it was a ghost.
Oh.
So, in hindsight, Jacqueline says that even though her childhood imaginary friend was actually her dead grandfather, it casts a different light because it was a relative and not a stranger.
It is a stranger because she'd never met him. Because he died before she was born. So, like, it could be any ghost. It could have been any fucking ghost just bowling over.
Oh, I'm I'm Pop Hank, fuck it.
I just think it's so weird. Like, if you have a memory of, like, a family member that you have vivid memories of particular things, like sitting under a tree and hearing their stories, that kind of sticks with you. But if that grandfather died a year before they were fucking born, what is happening to that person? What's happening to that guy?
Well, it didn't happen in the house, so it must have been someone out in the garden. Like, oh, Jacqueline's out there. Here we go. Hello, Jacqueline. It's me, Papa Hank. Yeah, let me tell you about the prohibition. Legal age of consent was raised.
All right, so yeah, that's creepy. That's creepy.
Yeah, that is very creepy.
This one might be a bit creepier. So this one's called the Phantom Ambulance Lights. In the mid-90s, we know you love
Here
the 90s.
we go. I know this.
Okay, a guy called Rob, right, worked as a
This is the third Rob.
It is. Rob's
This is the third Rob.
Rob's are like ghosts. Ghosts. What's a sunny big ghosts?
Fucking hell. Go on.
Rob works as a paramedic in a small Texas town and tells a story of strange happenings that he and his partner experienced on a call one night. So
once there was a man who didn't have a gun. He just did not have a gun.
I'll tell you the truth. He died of natural causes.
That man, he had never been shot at. Ever.
After receiving a call from a female having chest pains, he and his partner climbed into the ambulance to make their way to the address.
We took off code 3, which means using our emergency lights and sirens.
Robert recalls. And in the absence of GPS back then, in the 90s, people had to use maps and mailbox numbers in America to help guide them through like the countryside rural locations.
Like waypoints.
Yeah, just like flash your light over at a mailbox. We're too far. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, someone's hit it with a baseball bat, these fucking wily youths.
Bastards.
The address we were going to was a very rural one,
says Robert.
So there were no streetlights and it was very dark.
Yeah, it was difficult to read the mailboxes in the dark. So as they searched the correct driveway, Rob says that he turned off the sirens after determining they found it, and he pulled in to discover that they were mistaken. So we turned off the emergency lights and backed up the road and went up to the correct driveway, he explained. But upon arriving at the scene, the paramedics realised that they'd been to the exact same address 1 month prior for a male suffering from a cardiac arrest.
Oh, and they just got a really bad diet in that house.
Yeah, they're like, shit, people's hearts. They're having a bit of this one.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Bacon.
Bacon! I'll have a glass of bacon fat with that.
How'd you like your eggs? I like my bacon. I just fucking bacon everywhere.
In typical medical black humour fashion, we mentioned to each other that this was probably the wife who was now having a heart attack and she was going to join her husband. So because... Yeah, he fucking had one. Now she's having one. What a fucking liability this house is. Wet.
Oh, the fun we have.
Oh, they're both going to die of heart attacks. Wet. Right. But they jumped from their ambulance, laughing along the way, with bags in tow, and began treating the woman, who fortunately ended up being all right. Rob says that he sent his partner to get the stretcher from the ambulance, like in the olden days when they come out with stretchers.
Why did they get that first, though? They go into the building with it. They go in there. Oh, she's still alive. All right, get a stretcher then.
This is a fucking joke. We're not doing it. So yeah, they needed a stretcher so they can get her to hospital for an evaluation. When the partner returned, he had this strange look on his face. According to Robert, the pair wheeled the patient out to the emergency vehicle, and that's when Rob saw that the ambulance had nearly every light on. Strobe lights, floodlights, interior lights, everything was on. Okay.
Wow, the ghost did that. It was literally Tommy, who lived across the road, that spent half his life destroying Toy Story characters, setting them onto rockets. He was like, I'm going to fuck about here. Nino.
Somebody's just turned on, or the fucking ambulance is failing because of the fucking funding issues that they're having out there.
Or his mate, who was trying to get the stretcher, was like, "Well, let me just get the stretcher," accidentally knocking every fucking switch.
Bangs all the lights. Like,
Sort
that out later.
Oh, fuck it. Bang.
After taking the patient to the hospital, Rob asked his partner why he turned all the lights on. Partner said, I hadn't. No.
The mystery.
Also, weird reply. I hadn't. I hadn't turned lights on.
I had a shot of.
In fact, he reminded Rob that they'd shut all the lights off after they were going to the wrong address. Like, Rob, no. We turned the lights off.
May I remind you?
We hadn't turned the lights off. Shan't you remember that we hadn't turned all the lights off going to the wrong address?
Does your memory not serve you well?
Neither of us recall activating the emergency light stripes or floodlights when we arrived at the house, and of the real reason to do so, when we'd already gotten there.
Okay, in the end, we wrote it off as the dead husband letting us know they were still there.
They were laughing too hard as they were pulling in. She's died as well. Love, banter. Get the bag. Knocking all the lights on.
Okay, so we'll go on with another one here. And this one is titled The Boy with No Eyes.
None of them?
Didn't have any of them. They've all gone.
Where?
Let's find out. So, one night when I was 10, I was woken up by my bedroom door opening, followed by someone sitting on my bed.
That's you when you're a kid.
No.
Didn't happen to me. I was really ugly.
I'm not going in that room. Rob's in there.
Ooh, no, I'd rather go to the dog kennel.
This person that says, I felt my leg grazed and then the bed sunk under a person's weight. It's just my mum, I thought, and I opened my eyes.
Oh my god, I'm glad you said eyes.
I opened my eyes.
Oh, it's just my mum, so I spread my legs.
However, it was not my mum. I found an eyeless boy. He had black, empty sockets, about my age, sitting at the foot of my bed. Okay.
Have you seen my eyes?
Wanna play marbles?
Oh, does that have jumbo eyes on there?
Jumbo eyes?
Yeah, jumbos. Got jumbos.
I'm a small boy at the age of 10 with massive fucking frog eyes.
Big jumbos here. He extended his hand, and in it was a little box. I was startled, but reached out. He pulled back. I reached out again and said, "Give it." It's been a bit like forceful with this complete stranger with no eyes on his fucking bed.
You're like, I'm in charge of this situation. Give it.
You're in my room. I want it.
This is my house.
Then I blinked, and when I reopened my eyes, he was gone, but I could still see the imprint of where he sat on the bed.
Oh.
Bit weird. Fast forward 5 years. Right, it's 15 now. My girlfriend came over to do homework. After she finished, she took a nap. As you do.
After she finished doing her homework?
Yeah, I was really tuckered out doing my homework.
Yeah.
Nap here.
Oh, where's the reference for this? Oh, let's have a nap. She just got finger smashed.
She took a nap while she waited for her parents to pick her up. So it's a late night sesh. When they arrived, I tried waking her. She opened her eyes suddenly, looking up at a corner where the wall met the ceiling. She pointed there and went back to sleep. Corner.
I love how you've explained what a corner is to me. I really need that's necessary.
I had to. We know what you like. I shook her again. She came to full consciousness, and I explained what she'd done. She looked haunted. Up on the wall, I saw a boy with no eyes. He was there in a Spider-Man pose, staring at me, like whipping his hand out. Like,
yeah. Hey, is that Mary Jane?
Like, I told her the story about the same kid. Fast forward another 5 years. There's now 20, still in the same bedroom. Get out.
Right.
Get out now.
Yeah.
Right, I was with the same girlfriend. All right, well done. You're lasting.
You're gonna marry her.
Okay. Yes, he did. And they had a 2-year-old, and they didn't move out. They were still living in the same room. Saving up, some people say. My daughter, the 2-year-old, started waking up at the same time every night, and she'd talk. After a while, I noticed she had almost the same conversation every night.
Dad,
Dad, why are we still doing it? Dad, Nana's up again. She's dead. Dad. Dad, you're a loser. Dad. Dad, why is Mum looking at the corner of a room?
Dad, where's that boy's eyes?
It literally is that, though. I noticed that she had the same conversation every night. I playfully asked her, who are you talking to?
How is that playful? Well, it's the same time every night. I'll be like, for fuck's sake, who are you talking to? It's not, oh, who could you be talking to? You're not being playful.
The police were playfully asking the murder suspect. I
was beating him.
So I asked her who she was talking to. She said,
it's a little boy. He's nice. He's lost and he's looking for his mummy.
This daughter's conversations continued until they got their own place later that year.
Oh, thank God they actually moved out then.
Yeah.
What kind of 2-year-olds having those kind of conversations? I'll speak to a 2-year-old and I'll be like, hi, how's your day? Was it good?
Cake.
Yeah.
Oh, fell over.
Look at this. And there's a bogey at the end of their finger. Yeah.
Tractors.
Oh, well, I was speaking with a young boy who had lost his mother.
No.
Had quite the stories and told me all about Minsk.
It's a place in Russia, would you know?
It's so weird. And then that's how it ends. They move out. Obviously, the eyeless boy was haunting that room looking for his mummy, but he can't. He's got no eyes. And I want to know what's in the little box.
Yeah. And what's up in that corner?
Well, he was doing Spider-Man poses.
They're the only times that these occurrences had happened.
Every 5 years.
Blimey.
Yeah. All right. Okay. The Little Hands. I never lived in a haunted house, but my mother did as a teen. The end. Okay.
Put that in your fucking bio on Facebook.
My mum lived in a haunted house. I have no defining characteristics. Other houses on her street had strange things going on too.
Of course they did, because when she was growing up and young, they didn't have telly.
Strange things.
They didn't have anything else good to talk about. Like,
No.
oh, yeah, did you read that about that in the news? That there was no news.
News didn't exist before television. No.
Yeah, come on.
It did in papers and stuff, I guess.
Guess all you want. I'm all about hard facts.
A few homes away from her lived a family. And one
What
night,
the fuck is that line? A few homes away? No. A couple of doors down.
right, a couple of doors down, lived a family. One night, the daughter went to bed with a bad headache. Oh, it hurts. The next day, she was dead.
What's that, a headache?
She passed away from an aneurysm.
That's not funny.
That's not.
I'm laughing.
Because it's just
Well, I'm gonna go and lay down. Got bear dead.
dead now.
Yeah.
However, after the funeral, the family went away to get their minds off the tragedy. Take a nice little trip down to Miami. We'll have a think about this.
Oh,
Go to Florida.
Let's go to Disneyland, yeah.
Let's take our minds off the tragedy. The father asked my uncle, my mum's brother, just to clarify, to check on their pets. All right, they've gone away. They want somebody to look after the pets. My mum and dad, who were dating at the time, saucy, went with as a trio to go and look after these pets.
It's a 3-man job.
Right?
They're looting the house.
Looting the house, or it's really nosy and a couple of doors down. Let's have a look. Is it the same layout as our house? Slightly different. They haven't got a wall.
Oh,
Stairs are. They took it out. Looks nice. Opens it up. So they went with them, and the mother had heard there was a nice grand piano, and she wanted to play it. She wanted to go into the house and play the piano while they're not there.
That's exactly what it was. 3 of us. We're going to do that.
My dad was studying to be a vet, so there was interest in animals anyway. I guess a very tenuous link there. After entering the house,
I'll come with you. I want to see the animals because I want to be a vet.
I'm just popping round to do the pets. Do you want to come? I love that.
Oh, the pets, yeah.
I want to be a vet, don't you know? After entering the house, my uncle and my father headed to the basement to see the animals, where they kept them in the basement.
What the fuck?
Right.
The grand piano's like in the middle of the fucking house, everything, and the pets are in some grubby, skanky, damp basement.
It is, so they're in the basement. And then the mother went to play the piano on the ground floor. So yeah, she's like, oh, this is great. You go down to the grubby animal shack downstairs and have a clean up all that. She was playing it and she felt something brush her ankles.
Was it a pet?
She thought it was a cat that must have left the basement and walked past her. So she kept playing and then she felt it again. And she looked under the piano, saw nothing. She carried on playing and she felt hands clasp her legs tightly. She shit herself and then went to the basement door and called my uncle and father and waited for them. They leave the house and back outside, my uncle could tell that my mum was rattled and asked what was wrong.
My brother was well interested because animals were there. To draw him away from that, he was to be on bed, don't you know?
How long was she waiting? Like, she goes up to the door.
Guys, Korea, we getting fucked out of it?
They're like,
Yeah, hold on, with just the pets.
Pets,
you know,
yeah. Like he's drawing little things about what animals look like.
Pose for me.
Pose for me. He's writing moo next to that one because he thinks it's a cow, but it's not. It's just a cat. So he told them what happened and he turned white. He told her the daughter who had died used to play a game with her father. When he played the piano, she'd crawl underneath the piano, grab his ankles and push his feet up and down on the pedals.
Oh, that's fucking haunting.
It's creepy, right? The eerie attic.
They went back into the attic.
No, this is a different story.
Right.
Okay. Before this person got down to recounting their scariest of ghost stories about living in a place that was obviously teeming with honest-to-goodness members of the spiritual world, they pointed out the irony of ghost stories beginning with the phrase, "I don't believe in ghosts, but..." No matter how ghost stories begin, it always hinges on the notion that you have to believe in ghosts.
It's like saying, I'm not homophobic, but...
Yeah. Like,
I'm not racist, but...
I've never been a racist, but, like...
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't mind shared toilets, but...
Yeah.
A few years ago, I moved into a one-bedroom apartment in Melbourne, Australia. Okay. Sorry to our Australian listener or listeners. I know that you're out there. Sorry. But we're telling a ghost story about your home country. They went on to recall it was my first time living on my own. The apartment.
Someone wanted to live with me, but I said, rack off.
I said, rack off, Drazik, you bogan. It was the first time living on my own. The apartment block had been built in the 1930s. I'd been there for a few months when I came home from work one day and went to the bathroom. I saw something. To the dunny.
Yeah,
I saw something strange. A wooden board, which had covered a hole in the ceiling that led to a small attic space, lay fractured in two pieces on the ground.
Oh, God. Right.
I examined. Okay.
Examined it. I got my forensic kit out.
I've got a little magnifying glass. I'm looking at it. Clean break. It's a clean break there.
Look at the shard fibres.
I can't see it.
Get that white chalk right out.
It lay on the ground in two pieces. I examined those pieces. The board was an inch thick, and it would have taken Bruce Lee to break it. I think just a strong man to break it.
Yeah.
Story says Bruce Lee. Okay. I can't imagine.
Fucking Bruce Lee.
I can't imagine somebody got that down and then done a karate punch through it.
Yeah.
I thought the landlord had sent someone to do some work on the attic. But
landlord sent someone around to just punch blocks of wood.
Go around his ass, punch it. He hasn't paid enough rent. I'm going to take it out on that little wooden bit above his Danny.
Punch that sled of wood, good and true.
Good and true. Give it a break. It's an inch thick. Get Bruce Lee to do it. He works here now.
Hi, Bruce.
Bruce.
Bruce, we've got another bit of wood for you to fucking punch.
It's just a guy called Bruce, but he punched a bit of wood once, and now his nickname's Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
However, the guy was kind of frozen with fear, and he thought, someone is up in that attic for sure.
Yeah, that would fuck me up, I'll be honest.
This is less ghost story instantly and more like somebody's living in my fucking attic. There's a fear that some genuine fear people have. Not cool. I emailed pictures to the landlord and asked if anybody's been up there with an undertone of annoyance since they hadn't warned me. Like, as a tenant, I've got fucking rights.
How would that email go? Dear landlord, hi, hope you're well. Hope this email finds you well. I'm fucking petrified. Bye.
I hope this email finds you well. Are you well? Well.
Are you well? Well, I'm not well.
Well, look at this. The well in the front room is well.
There's now a well in my front room because this is the ring.
Less of the well. He sent the pictures to the landlord. Her reply read,
Please call me as soon as you're able to.
Why don't she just call him? Dear tenant, I hope you well. This email finds you well. Call me ASAP. Bye. Just fucking phone him.
But the bottom of the email is like, only available Mondays to Thursdays. And she explained that the last two tenants had the same problem. She promised that she'd replace the board, and she did. Right. How about instead of replacing the fucking shitty wooden board, fix the fucking ceiling?
Yeah.
Typical landlord, isn't it? Like, open the windows when you have a shower. The mold's not my responsibility, it's your responsibility. Yeah. A month later, I woke up one night around 4 a.m. My body was covered in goosebumps. I felt like someone was rubbing his or her hands on me. Everything was silent, but then I heard a dragging sound coming from above my bed. It was as if someone was pulling a sack of potatoes, 50 pounds of russets. I froze, convinced someone was up there. There is no animal that could make that sound. And after 5 minutes, they had worked up enough courage to turn on the light, right? In typical Australian fashion, armed to themselves with a cricket bat and walked into the bar.
Shane Warne will be proud of me.
Aye, we want the ashes.
That's when I saw that the new board covering the hole was broken in two.
Fuck off.
I felt sick. The dragging sound had stopped, but I heard something else. Whispering. The sound was clear and coming from the attic. It sounded like children's voices.
What, that was the words? Someone was just whispering, children's voices.
It's like audio description on the telly.
Russet potatoes being dragged.
People walking. Board breaking. So it sounded like children's voices, and I could hear one sentence being repeated over and over.
It's your turn.
I switched on every light in the apartment to make things feel normal. It was 5 a.m. and dark outside. I watched my TV to try to get it out of my head.
Yeah.
Then the fuse blew. My pet budgie Dexter, whom I kept in the kitchen, usually never made a sound at night, but he started squawking like he'd been strangled. I never heard him make those sorts of noise before. He was screaming. I grabbed my car keys and ran out, sat in my car and waited there until the sun came up.
What about his poor fucking bird?
Dexter!
Yeah.
I'm getting the keys and getting out.
Every man for himself. Sorry, Dex. You're locked in a cage. At least open the fucking cage and let him go.
When I saw people walking their dogs, this comforted me enough to go back in the house.
I love dogs.
Yeah.
Forget about everything. Oh,
Oh, dogs.
The front door was open, but I figured that I might have forgotten to close it. So when they ran out, I went into the kitchen to check on Dexter, but he wasn't in his cage. I felt sick again.
What?
All my windows were closed, so I looked everywhere inside. When I walked in the bathroom, I heard splashing. Dexter half drowned in the toilet.
Oh!
I took him out, washed him and dried him. I was so confused.
You didn't really need to wash him.
he's in the toilet. He's had a little bath.
Yeah, it's fucking soaked.
Who fucking
I
did?
know what would help him out. I'll soak him more.
Come here, wash time. Who let Dexter out and tried to kill him in the toilet?
don't.
I was confused. At 8 o'clock, I called the landlord and gave her a
was
water
confused.
down of the night,
Oh wow, you heard whispering too.
she said. I said, like she doesn't care.
Yeah.
Man, put fucking another board on there now, you bastard.
Yeah. Whispering, eh? Yeah, cool. This could have been an email.
Call me later, not a minute.
Yeah. Yeah. Out of hours, send an email. You'll get picked up on the front desk.
I stayed in that apartment for another 18 months. I heard the whispering on a few occasions, and twice the board covering the hall had moved. Although I live elsewhere now, the landlord recently called, and she said that new tenants had begged to speak with me about the stuff that's been going on there, so it's carried on. Fucking get someone up in that attic and have a look.
Yeah. Get that done. Don't just worry about, not the board again. Get someone up there. Get the men in black up there. I don't know. That's nasty. Well, I lived there for 18 months afterwards as well. Surely don't renew that tenancy.
You are caught in that
Slap it.
tenancy, though.
Yeah. Oh, you did sign a 2-year tenancy, so you're doomed for.
Fucking hell, she knew that as well.
Yeah, you haven't signed a contract with the devil. Just leave the house.
The devil. Yeah, that's
That's
creepy.
really
That's
scary.
creepy because there's a fear of people living in your attic. That's a genuine fear.
Yeah, I'm petrified of home invasion. I'm literally
You certainly are.
freeze. Yeah, like often, at most probably 3 times a week, I get up in the middle of the night and do a little tour of the house.
That's fair enough. Like you
I
just don't
forget
want
what
that.
it looks like. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Go check that board's still there. Great. That's what I'm gonna fucking do tonight. Oh
No, the board is not there
Oh,
anymore.
shit, I am as well.
I don't mean to creep
That's
you out.
horrible. You do. Make sure we haven't got that fucking picnic camper anywhere near the house.
No, not the picnic camper. The co-op ghost.
The cooperative.
The
like the shop.
cooperative. Yeah.
Are you joking?
No.
We've had weeks to plan this. We have had weeks. Like,
The co-op is it graces every town. It's
my I'm not even in a town. I'm in a little village of like 3 pubs and 12 co-ops. Like,
yeah. Co-op
What-
funeral care. Co-op.
Yeah.
shop. Yeah, they love it. Okay, the co-op ghost. All right, and this is in Wishaw in North Lanarkshire.
a haunted self-service counter.
It said I'd had 6 carrots, but I never put them through.
It said it needed ID for these razor blades, and it just did it.
It didn't take my change. And then I saw it said card only.
Oh
my God.
The great haunting of the co-op. This better be really good, Paul, because
Right.
I'm already disappointed.
In September 1966.
Did they have co-ops? Well, I don't know. Yeah, I'm sure they did.
Of course they did.
Okay.
Police. It's a fucking story about it. In 1966, the police were called out to a car park near Wishaw, near the electricity board's office in Hill Street. You know the place.
Yeah, that one.
And the co-op building in Russell Lane. Right? But it's not your usual call out. Indeed, a group of teenagers at the car park claimed they'd seen a ghost and were scared by what they saw.
Yeah, but they didn't have mobile phones then. They would have to like run to a payphone.
Yeah.
Done the whole dialing thing. I've seen a ghost. I'm scared. Go
They were-
home.
They were that scared that they called the police. So that's how scared they were. They were instantly like, a ghost! I've got to call the police. So the police, as can be imagined, were not impressed. A newspaper had reported on this, obviously, as they do.
Yeah, what there and then.
There's always a reporter in the olden days standing next to someone in case news breaks.
Every second person is a news reporter.
Around here. Oh yeah, no, they said a ghost. We're not sure what action the teenagers expected the police to take in apprehending a ghost, but the officers' problem was solved when they discovered on arrival at the scene that the ghost was gone. Ugh. They treated the incident as a hoax, but of course they answered the emergency call just to put the young minds at rest.
Well, that didn't disappoint, did it?
Hold on. The teenagers,
were
around 18 at the time, however, were adamant that they saw something supernatural. Anne, speaking for the group, had said to the paper,
"We were standing in the car park when we saw the figure of a woman up at one of the windows in the gable end of the co-op building on Russell Lane."
What does that mean, gable end?
That's like where the roof meets. So, okay, you're shaking your head. I'm trying to tell you about real life things. I'm not interested in reality. Just tell me your shit stories. Okay.
Gable was even the X-Men.
Cable.
That was Gambit.
Cable, you got mixed up.
She had short blonde hair and had staring eyes. Everything about her was white, and as we watched, she waved her hand for us as if she was asking us to come up her.
Come on. I misspoke.
She waved her hand as if to say she was asking us to come up to her. The hand seemed as though it was coming through the glass of the window, although it was closed.
In a cupping motion.
Come up her! Given the lateness of the hour, it was about 11 o'clock. So late. There was no need for anybody to be in the building. Meanwhile...
Or the car park.
Or anywhere. Why are you 18 and hanging around the car park at 11 o'clock? What's that about? One of Anne's friends actually worked in the building and said that the room that they saw the figure in was only ever used for junk and empty boxes. It was little wonder then that I was scared. That's the end. I'm sorry.
Oh man, where are you getting these from? Come up me.
Come up me. Oh, I'm a ghost. Come up me. The final story, okay, of our ghostly stories. And I'm very sorry. I feel like I'm disappointed with some of the ghost stories here. No. But really, there's been some gems in there. This really goes to prove that people like attention and love to kind of big up a story a bit. So you're not seeing ghosts. You love the drama.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I'm not going to explain the fact that, someone's living in my attic like a real life person. Ghosts.
Yeah. There's ghosts.
Yeah, it was ghosts.
I'm not going to explain that I'm fucking misplaced a gallon of milk. It was a ghost.
Still live with my mum? No. No, I boy. No, I boy made me stay.
Oh, well, yeah, I did leave the lights on the ambulance. Left all of them on, actually. But I'm embarrassed, so ghosts.
Ghost on the banister? No. Just a sad old man.
Yeah.
Anyway, the final story is called House for Sale, Currently Occupied.
Nice.
When I was a kid, we lived in a haunted house. Strange things happened all the time.
Yeah.
And the definition of strange with all these stories is not strange.
Yeah. Circumstantial, usually.
It really is.
Or just criminal.
Just some criminal damage. For example, my dad and I were alone in the kitchen one day making a snack.
Ooh.
We put our plate on the kitchen counter and walked away to the fridge together, side by side.
You walked away? The fridge was in another room.
To the fridge. Get on the horses, right down to the fridge. 2 days ride. So we put our plate on the kitchen counter and walked away to the fridge. We got what we wanted out of the fridge, like information.
Oh shit!
Tell
Was
us where
that
the
what we
diamonds
wanted?
are. We got what we wanted out of the fridge. Turned around. Turned around to walk back to the counter, and the plate flew off the kitchen counter, broke on the floor.
Right.
My dad tried to calm me down.
I was
Don't
in
worry, darling.
hysterics.
The plate was just blown off the counter. But let's face it, the plate wasn't near the edge of the counter, and there were no windows or doors open, and no one else was home. I also woke up to an old lady standing by my bed on more than one occasion. I told myself I was dreaming. That's scarier than the fucking plate. Why didn't she leave with that?
Yeah.
Like, you know, Jesus. The
Oh,
weirdest thing.
I had to be calmed down by my father after the plate. But the woman, I'm
Anything
dreaming.
else? Yeah, no, just that woman standing over me.
Yeah,
saying,
I was dreaming, so.
Yeah. Years later, I looked up the address and found that an old couple had lived there for many years before we moved in.
Right.
Apparently, the house was broken into, and an old woman was raped and murdered, and the old man sold the house and moved.
Fucking hell.
First occupant since the incident.
Right, okay.
Now, we only lived there for about a year. My parents swear we moved so quickly because we got a better deal on another house nearby, but we know it was because the house was haunted, and the priest they brought in to bless the place told them that we should move.
It was like, get out of here. There's a lovely place down the road. My wife works in real estate. She'll set you up.
I feel like priests could easily manipulate the housing market.
Yeah.
Be like, nah, we're going to knock this area down. Ghosts.
Yeah. Or they could just get rid of the ghost.
So, ghosts, really?
Yeah.
Really?
Really? Are they real?
So, ghosts, like, are they real? Are they not? Do the stories bear any relevance to situations that have happened to you? Do you have any ghost stories that you'd love to share with the podcast? You can contact us on our social media, which all plays at the end of the episode. Let us know. Have you seen a ghost squatting on your stairwell, having a little ghost dump? Have you been scared of a board in your attic dropping down because you haven't really placed it properly and you just can't fit it into the slot very well and it keeps falling off? Ghosts, like, although in the original episode I said ghosts do exist, I still believe I'm a skeptic, and I'd love to know if ghosts do exist. I'm open to the idea, and some things can't be explained, but with a bit of logical thinking, they
and science,
they can be plausibly described. So yeah, just let us know. Do you have any ghost stories? Have you encountered a child ghost who's been touching your ankles? What they've been up to? Somebody been fiddling around with your grand piano? Let us know.
What kind of pets do you keep in your basements?
Basement pets, honestly. Like,
would you let the bird out the cage, or would you just let it fucking die insufferable death?
That feels like one of those emergency choices that you get in games. Like, you have to be like, let the bird out or let it die. It's going to have ramifications later on in your story.
The butterfly effect.
Butterfly effect, yeah. Oh, the bird would have saved you.
Human.
The bird would have saved your life later on down the line. Like, it would have jumped in front of a bullet for you. But it's dead now, so you're dead. So yeah. You can come back as a ghost, however, and stand over a baby. So, have you lost your mother? Where is she? Oh, this is on a postcard.
How was your trip to the south of France? Tell all.
Tell all. Was it a saucy, little vacation where you had to take the kids, but you bought a couple of audiobooks to put on super loud so you get jiggy? But was a man there staring at you while you were doing it? And did you enjoy it? Or not? Depends. So yeah, this has been the ghost episode of In My Humble Opinion. Happy New Year once again. Sorry if this has scared you a little bit. I hope that you're listening to it during the day, because again, I forgot to warn you at the beginning that this might be a little bit creepy. So if you are easily scared, apologies. We have a disclaimer at the beginning. We are not liable for your fear. So that's your own. Nothing to do with us.
If you do send us emails regarding this, please make sure they greet us well. And
we may ask you to ring us immediately. Depends on what the context is. Thank you again for listening. 2024 is going to be a big year for us. We have some fantastic things planned. So we hope that you'll be able to join us on one of our many adventures. Well,
I see what you mean now.
Yeah. I've been Paul.
I've been Rob.
And you have been listening to the In My Humble Opinion podcast. Bye.
Bye.
Bye now.
You have been listening to the In My Humble Opinion podcast. Ghosts again? Join us on Instagram by searching @humbleopinions_podcast or TikTok by searching @In My Humble Opinion podcast or viewing us on YouTube by searching In My Humble Opinion Pod, or one word.